Please have a nice seat. Thank you. Great is the art of beginning, but greater is the art of ending. These words by Henry Wordsworth Longfellow ring true in our minds today as, with a bittersweet emotion, we approach the end of 24th Annual Convention of the Strategic Management Forum, SMF, hosted by the Institute of Rural Management, Anand. I am Rajeshwari, participant of 4th batch of IRMA's executive program, the PGDM RMX, feel delighted to offer a gracious welcome to all of you to this valedictory ceremony of SMF 2022. The success of any event is determined by the inspiring presence of great personalities who lend a charisma to the occasion, and I'm extremely privileged to extend a hearty welcome to our honorable dignitaries on stage. We are indeed happy to have our chief guest, Mr. Abhishek Shukla, Vice President, Customer Success Matter, with us today. Mr. Shukla is a dynamic and high-performing leader with over 11 years of work experience in operations strategy, stakeholder management, and change management. He has a proven track record in handling cross-functional teams for client acquisition and retention, channel management, and process improvement in the automotive industry. Let's extend a very warm welcome and invite him on stage with a big round of applause. We welcome you on stage, sir. I'm also honored to welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Sumit Sabharwal, CEO, TeamLease HRtech, on stage. TeamLease HRtech Limited is one of India's largest, fastest growing HR technology services and product company, offering HCM Tech managed service, digital suite with 100 million plus transactions per month for 2 million plus unique employees across 4,000 plus clients on proprietary SaaS platform. Mr. Sabharwal has more than 2 decades of experience implementing growth strategies, optimizing profits, and scaling up organizations to their full potential. His vision is to make TeamLease HRtech one of the world's top innovative HR tech product companies in the next 10 years. Mr. Sabharwal was the Managing Director and CEO of Exility Global, leading the entire Exility business for 14 lakh employees, serving 1,000 plus clients across 20 countries, including India and Asia Pacific. For over the last 2 decades, he has led large businesses for corporates like Godrej Group, HDFC Bank, SRAGs, and OCS Group, delivering robust multifold growth. He is a BTech and an MBA in marketing from MTI Gurgaon. He was honored with a doctorate PhD in management by a university in South Korea in the year 2017. Once again, give him a big round of applause. And of course, we are glad to have Professor Arunaditya Sahai with us. Let's also welcome Professor Arunaditya Sahai, SMF Secretary General and Dean of Research, BIM Tech, to kindly come up on stage and join the dignitaries. It's time to request our beloved Director, Dr. Umakant Dash, to kindly come on stage and join the dignitaries. Inviting Professor C. Shamph Prasad, co-convener, SMF 2022, and Professor IRMA on stage. Let's extend a warm and floral welcome to our dignitaries. Firstly, I request Professor Arunaditya Sahai to welcome Mr. Abhishek Shukla. I now request Dr. Umakant Dash to welcome Mr. Sumit Sabharwal by greeting him with a bouquet of flowers. Thank you. Last 3 days, we have had deep insights into several issues on strategic management. We had scholars from local, national and international levels enlightening us in many ways on this area, and now we are witnessing the valedictory ceremony. Inviting Dr. Umakant Dash, Director.
A very good afternoon. Guest on the dais, our chief guest, Mr. Abhishek Shukla, Vice President, Customer Success Matter. Our guest of honor, Mr. Sumit Sabharwal, CEO, TeamLease HRtech. Other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. My dear students, delegates. It's of course a moment, emotional moment. Finally, the program is going to get over, the event is going to get over. It's like a family function. And at the end of that day, you feel people are going to leave you. Well, when last year, this 23rd edition of SMF, which was there in Nagpur, and I proposed IRMA. The reason of proposing IRMA as the venue for the 24th SMF convention is, of course, manifold. One, because of the place Anand. Anand has connection, or was the Janmabhumi and Karmabhumi of many strategists. Great strategist India has seen. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Tribhuvandas Patel, then Dr. Varghese Kurian, and the institutions like NDDB, GCMMF, and IRMA, in some way connected with some of these activities that was going around or happening in Anand. So this institute, IRMA, took shape or established in 1979 when the White Revolution was going through, and the cooperative movement wanted professionals. Cooperative movement wanted people, strategists who are going to take this movement forward. So therefore, there is definitely a connection between IRMA and the cooperative sector by providing professionals for running the organizations, for running the institutions, not only from the dairy sector, but also other institutions which are working for the rural people. The second is again, the second point why, or the second reason why I wanted the SMF to be here is the founder of the SMF was our director. So the last time, the Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Murthy, and he was our director, the second director of this institute. So therefore, there is a connection between the SMF and the institute. Not only there is a sort of, I can say, biological connection, but also academic connection with the IRMA. I think the third point, why? Because I think in the inaugural session also, Dr. Sodhi mentioned the strategy that we have been playing with, the strategy which we have been using in the cooperative sector. It's like value of money and value for money. So this value for money is what we have been doing for the last 50 years. So the strategy that we are talking about is how the mass is going to get benefited. Might be different from the corporate strategy, but definitely something very important for the development of the country, for the development of the economy. Tomorrow, if you want to become 5 trillion, 10 trillion, or 15 trillion economy, this sector has to grow and this sector has to contribute. And we have to link this sector with the corporate sector as well. So these are a couple of reasons that I thought should therefore request the SMF to allow us to hold it in IRMA, and I'm thankful to SMF that they allowed, and we got the opportunity to hold this 24th convention at IRMA. We all are grateful to SMF, Dr. Sahai, Dr. Maitri, and other team members of SMF for granting us that opportunity to bring the SMF here at IRMA. In the last 2 days, we had many papers, 8 tracks parallelly running, almost 100 plus papers with 150 more participations. We had a couple of workshops, writing, case studies writing, literature review, how to do the synthesis reviews, and editors conclave as well. And today we had the directors conflict to throw upon what should be the direction the management institute should take, and what should be the nature, character, and direction the institute should take, so that the Amrit Kal, which we are celebrating now by 2047, it's going to be a different world altogether. It's not going to be the same thing what we, even the directors, they dwell upon. It's going to be a different world. So I would like to thank all the delegates who have come over here to make this particular event a success. I'm sure, I hope my team members, my friends, colleagues, and organizers, they tried the level best to make it your stay at least smooth. They could be able to take your requirements and other stuff. But I'm also sure that there might be some small lapses. I apologize on their behalf. And if there are major lapses, please let us know, because the game is not over, the event is not over. This is definitely going to be a learning for us, so that we will take care of those issues when we are going to have our next event. And this also, I'm going to pass it on to the institute, which is going to hold the 25th, the Silver Jubilee edition of the SMF. There was a lot of learning, not only the academicians we have gained from the interaction that we had with participants, delegates, and other experts that we invited, the research scholars, the IRMA students, they got benefited. I thank you, all the delegates, all the invitees, for the pain and time that they have taken to come to Anand, to see what Anand is, and to see what IRMA is. Always we say Anand is Anand. You will not get another place like Anand in India. Hope our relationship will continue, and hope it's like going to be from great to greater to greatest. I'm sure the next institute is going to organize it in a bigger way, and we will have more participations, more interactions, more lively sessions. And I wish the institute the good luck, and I thank once again to all the delegates, participants, and my students for making it a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now would like to take the opportunity of inviting our guest of honor, Mr. Sumit Sabharwal, CEO, TeamLease HRtech, for his address.
Good afternoon, and I'm really honored to be here, and it means a lot to me. Thank you for the warm welcome and the invitation for this prestigious conference. What I'd like to share with you today is some things about my experience over the last 30 months when we were coming out, when we were struggling through the pandemic, and how the organizations leveraged various technologies, various efforts, how people came together to come out of the pandemic. Clearly, our tenures as business leaders have been phenomenally challenging as we navigated the business through the unprecedented healthcare crisis of the century. What was most important there was to rally the organizations to understand the reasons why they should be hopeful, but also dealing with the reality that the business world was in complete disarray at that point in time. And I took my learnings majorly from various leaders who have been handling difficult situations in the past, particularly from Napoleon, when to make sure that the people are grounded in reality and at the same time give them the strategies to be hopeful. So we saw many organizations coming forward to go well beyond the business commitment at that point in time and collaborating with the government, with the other entities for a higher purpose, and which was the coming together of the bazaar, which is the corporate world, the samaj, which is the community, and the sarkar. So it was a unique combination that played out at that point in time. I very vividly remember my daughter, who is now in high school, calling me and telling me that, Dad, the economy is going down due to pandemic and many companies may shut shop. I told her that, Manya, it is not going to be that bad, don't worry about it. But the reality is that it represented the fear at that point in time, which was in everyone's mind. And when the messages permeate to the playground, that means that we have real serious problems to address. I then put together a mantra for the company because I needed to have thousands of employees of ours who were working in the company stay focused on what they needed to do in that difficult situation. And the mantra had to be really simple: stay safe, stay liquid, stay profitable, and selectively invest in growth. The pandemic hit fast, and a few businesses had a contingency plan for a global healthcare crisis. And as employees, when we left our offices in March 2020, there was no way to know what is going to happen next. We learned several lessons as businesses over the last 30 months, over the last 30 odd months during the pandemic, and when we are still coming out of the pandemic. Certainly, applying these lessons learned during the historic moment that was COVID-19 can help any organization find its post-pandemic on a strong footing. When the businesses and its employees are tested by the worldwide crisis, they collectively learn their strengths and the areas in which they can improve. And it is through these difficult situations that we find what matters most. Learnings which we learned over the last 30 months have now become an integral part of organization's DNA. So this has been similar for the organizations which had put together the rational or the business value proposition with the emotional engagement. And this emotional engagement is with the employees, with the customers, with the society, and the different stakeholders, which is the overall community. One of the best lessons that we all learned from pandemic is a renewed commitment to agility and resilience. Life would sometimes feel like a fight. Punches, jabs, hooks will come in the form of challenges, obstacles, and failures. Yet, if we stay in the ring and learn from the past fights, at the end of each round, you will still be standing. So watching how employees improved, strategized, modernized on the fly, on an immediate basis during the pandemic is a reminder of how resilient and talented they are. In the pre-pandemic era, we used to always think recovery plans are not enough, prepare for the contingency plans. But business resilience goes much beyond the IT disaster recovery or the organization's business continuity plans. It focuses on people, processes, and technology coming together effectively and efficiently, no matter what the event or the duration is. So the resilient businesses that emphasized on solid processes, agile decision-making, investments in the right technology and nimble organization structures have been surviving, not only surviving but also thriving during the pandemic and after the pandemic. So these were very critical. Another thing which was of utmost importance was innovation. Our tomorrows require new and different solutions from today. As our circumstances are new, we must think new and act new on a new issues which are before us today. So most organizations accelerated their digital transformation, as we all know, by migrating to cloud, adopting new workplace solutions, adopting new security frameworks to secure their assets as we were moving into a decentralized environment. It has been extraordinary experience to have so many incredibly great ideas for new products, new industry verticals coming in during that time phase. Many industry tools around testing, treatment were quite successful and will be built into very large healthcare platforms of the future. People were forced to do telehealthcare for a year, and now we see many people saying that why do I need to go into the doctor's clinic? The world of online education, all of us know, just accelerated its uptake by a decade. We all had new data visualizations, aggregation, data capabilities, we've seen all that, and pretty much everyone in the world knows what it means to flatten the curve. I think that the innovations are changing our collective mindset about what is possible in our lives beyond the pandemic also. A lot of innovative tech tools are required to empower employees to work from anywhere. The pandemic has helped employers to realize the importance of use of cloud-based technology tools. And what we have also seen is that the organizations which have been resistant to change and who are clinging to the legacy systems like the manual processes that don't scale up according to your needs are thereby making work harder, and they are impeding their own growth. Unfortunately, most of the organizations learned this the hard way during the onset of the pandemic and had to implement tech tools overnight. Only with the proper technology have the employees been able to work effectively across different locations. Even after pandemic, it is good to continue to use and adopt cloud-based technology tools that are available to most of the organizations today. The technology tools have evolved to automate manual tasks, reduce the paperwork, help employees collaborate with their peers, and make them productive while providing a personalized experience. So having these kinds of technology tools to improvise help in building the employee trust in the organization and provides employee engagement and a better experience. The flexible work schedules that came during the pandemic are no longer a choice, but they are essential in today's world. So supporting flexible practices post-pandemic can show you the interest in improving employees' living conditions while also appealing to the younger generation of employees looking for an increased workplace flexibility. And all this, ladies and gentlemen, have been possible due to the innovative technology which is enabled by artificial intelligence, automation, and advanced analytics. Another example is the advent of health technology products, which is integrated with organization systems like HRtech systems. In today's world, we have got smartwatches which are integrated with your organization's HCM systems, which will give a real-time data of your employees' parameters like blood pressure, like sugar levels, like SpO2 levels, like temperature, and will give a predictive guidance to your HR teams or to the employers that where the intervention has to be done for the employee well-being. So all this is possible because we were faced with a sudden change of integrating the technology into the very well-being of our employees. Another big thing that came in and which we all are reaping benefits of is the collaboration focus of the work-life balance. Pandemic taught us how busy everyone's lives are outside the office. Using the transition back to normalcy as a powerful moment to remind your team to respect the life that they live both inside and outside the work is very, very important. The sense of collaboration, support, and creativity they may get from being in the office is an important aspect of the good work that our employees, our colleagues do for others as a community. Successful organizations have been implementing effective remote access collaborative technologies that have made their employee experience flexible, uniform, secure, easy to use, and all the while generating greater productivity, greater throughput, and greater engagement. And now that as we move, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, out of the pandemic, we are as an industry, we are facing different kinds of challenges. These challenges are in the form of the great resignation, which is there, quiet quitting, white collar lethargy, and Gen Z's professional expectations, which are miles and miles apart from the millennials. We must all be sure to apply these learnings and lessons that have come out of how we have come out of the other side of the pandemic in a much more stronger way. When the times are tough during something as unprecedented as a global pandemic, it reminds us all of empathy, love, and grace that we should treat ourselves, our co-workers, and our customers with every day. Reminding ourselves of that and prioritizing it in our interactions has made us stronger through the adversity we faced during the pandemic. So I will end with a famous shloka from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Karmanye Vadhikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachan. Please give your 100%, be persistent, be committed, and the universe will support you to get the desired results. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was indeed motivating and highly informative. It gives me great pleasure in inviting our chief guest, Mr. Abhishek Shukla, Vice President, Customer Success Matter, to the dais for his address. We are eager to hear from you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, SMF and IRMA, for this opportunity to share my thoughts on the theme of the convention, which is rebuilding organizations in a post-pandemic world, and what are the strategies which can be looked into. So, I have actually modified this to building organizations, the strategic conversations for post-pandemic world. Because for us at Matter, we were starting up and it was everything from grounds up. So there was nothing to be rebuilt. It was only to build a great product, great technology for the country. And that is why it is, for us, it is building organizations and strategic conversations for post-pandemic world. So I'll be talking about primarily these things. So emerging themes when we focus on the electric vehicle and the energy storage revolution which is currently happening in the country. Understanding the young India, the consumer, understanding the Indian two-wheeler market. I would also like to then segue into how we at Matter have grown at the time of pandemic, and how and where are we now, and what strategies we have followed. I would like to talk about the team, the technology which we have built, the brand values and purpose, and at the end, how this entire thing actually comes together to build a great product. So there are three themes primarily which are emerging and which are changing the consumer behavior, which are also pushing consumer to adopt electric vehicles as a primary mode of transport. One was digital. This was accelerated due to COVID, and we had seen a decade equivalent of digital innovation happening within a few quarters. People are becoming more and more connected. Adoption of digital technologies is happening at a much faster pace, and not only in the urban India, but also in the rural India. In fact, the tier 2 cities today, tier 2 cities and rural India, they account for more than 80% of the transactions which are happening online in the e-commerce space. Other factors which have helped in digital revolution are the availability of the cheap bandwidth, smartphone in every pocket, UPI and the India stack, which have really redefined how people actually experience the digital, how they shop, how they speak to each other, how they are connected to their friends and family. So in a nutshell, digital economy is real and it is here to stay. And obviously with the increase in the computing power, with the increase in the data availability, the data is definitely the new oil. Second trend or second emerging theme is of the energy. We are a growing country and thus we have growing energy needs. So as per a report by India Energy Storage Alliance, around 150 gigawatt hour of battery packs will be required for EVs by 2030. We will be needing more than 450 gigawatt of renewable energy, 27 gigawatt hour of grid connected battery storage. If we sum it up, it boils down to almost around 3% annual increase in the energy demand every year due to urbanization and industrialization. But we also have environmental challenges. As per UN IPCC reports, the last 8 years will be the warmest years in the history of the mankind. The Greenland ice sheet has been melting for almost 26 consecutive years, and this time it has rained rather than snow over there. And 1.5 degree limit over the pre-industrial era is most likely to be breached. So to sum it up, we have energy requirements which are going up, but there is a need for the cleaner sources of energy. Another theme which is helping in the adoption of the EVs is the government support. The policies, so government came out with the FAME policy back in 2014 and then subsequently the FAME 2 came in and that was extended. Further, there have been schemes on the PLI, on the manufacturing, to bring manufacturing back to India, to drive manufacturing sector in India. And recently there is also development on the EV financing. On the consumer side, the rising costs of owning a vehicle are driving the EV demand. So in a nutshell, there are multiple demand and supply side incentives which are driving EV penetration. And the market which was the two-wheeler market, the ICE two-wheeler market, which was around $22 billion in 2019. Today, by 2030, what we are expecting is that the EV market itself is going to grow up to $14 billion. And if the displacement of the ICE vehicles happen at a much larger scale, that could even go up to $50 billion plus in another 20 years. So now let's understand the consumer. Here I would also like to talk about our journey a bit. So Matter started back in January 2019. At that time there was no COVID, and since then we have faced 3 COVID waves. But we have been able to continue our work, continue developing technologies during this phase. So the resilience of the team was very important over here. And going back to how we started, so a starting point for us was always the consumer. What does the consumer want? Who is our target consumer, and how and why he is not adopting an EV vehicle? Is there a paucity of options available? Basically understanding what are his needs. So we carried out multiple research studies in 2019 itself, wherein we identified that the target persona which for us, which was the young Indian, They were spending a lot of time on the digital technologies. They were tech savvy and they were very connected. They were very comfortable with using digital. They were available on the social media channels. They read reviews on Autocar and Team BHP. So that was the kind of persona which we were encountering at that point of time. This year in the starting, we did a research again with a third-party agency wherein we did focus group discussions with our consumers. The purpose was to understand what has changed post-COVID. And to our surprise, not much had changed. The consumers' expectations were still the same. There were obviously the adoption of digital has in a way increased the number of consumers who were ready to accept technologies which are connected. But in terms of expectations from the product, they were mostly the same as what we have encountered in the research in 2019. Going to the Indian two-wheeler market, so currently if we see the Indian two-wheeler market, it is almost 70% is the motorcycle market. If you see the ICE engine vehicle data. But if you observe the EV in the scooter segment. So in a way, what is happening here is we as in an industry, we are trying to change the behavior of the consumer and making him adapt something which he is not comfortable with. So going forward, just to summarize what is happening in terms of themes and opportunities, there is a digital economy which is actually booming. Energy requirements are going up, but there is a need for the cleaner sources of energy. There is a significant push from the government for the EV adoption. Atmanirbhar PLI schemes have been floated to reduce the dependency on exports. And India is the world's largest two-wheeler market. This brings me to how we have approached to solve this problem and what is our vision at Matter and what we are doing. So next few slides I'll be spending some time on how we are building a product, what is our approach to solving the problem of EV adoption in India, and how this has all happened. So our vision is to accelerate India's journey to an energy independent future. And the core pillars basis which we will be achieving this vision are the technology. We have a very eminent team, I would say. Then we are vertically integrated. And we are also building a product, building technology which enables us to address the largest market. So modular technology is what I'm talking about, and it helps us address almost 90% of the two-wheeler market in India. This technology has been developed over past 4 years. There have been times when our teams were working from home during the COVID waves, but there were a few people in the team who are working from the offices because as compared to a software firm, we need to be present while the product testing is happening. We need to be present when I'm building a product. So manufacturing has its own challenges. So the testing of the product, testing of our battery packs, testing of our motor has continued through the pandemic. And that has enabled us to launch the product recently. Coming to the first building block of Matter is the team. So today we are more than 300 plus people who are working on cutting edge technologies. We are based out of Ahmedabad and we recently had an office in Pune also. We bring in substantive experience in the EV platform development. The team is made up of experienced people whose names you see over here, but they come from great automotive companies, energy companies, and these are people who are leading Matter. Subsequently, we also have freshers and GETs joining us, and they are working hand in hand with us to develop these technologies. If I were to share the average age we have today at Matter is around 32, 33 years at the company level. Going forward, I would like to spend some time on the tech which we have built. And this is the result of the effort which team has put in. The resilience of the team and the knowledge and their ability to take risks. So basically what we have done is, we have built the entire product grounds up. The overall tech is divided into 4 parts. One is the Matter Drive, which is the powertrain of the vehicle, which includes the motor and the gearbox. Then you have Matter Energy, which is the power pack, which is the battery pack, and it has been built, designed and developed in-house at our R&D facilities in Ahmedabad. Then there is a software, which again is 100% in-house. Then we have Matter Intel, which is power electronics. So we have our internal power electronics team, which works on designing and developing the circuit boards, the ECUs for the vehicle. And in doing so, what have we achieved? There are almost 260 plus IPs which we have created. Out of these, we have almost filed around 60 patents, and 5 have been granted in record times. And this all happened during the COVID, due to the resilience of the team, due to the vision which we had in common, which we share in common. Going to the next, so when we started building Matter, technology was the focus, building product was the focus. But now we do realize that if we want to stay in the industry for long, if we want to really build an organization which can become a market leader going forward, culture has to be nurtured within the organization. And for that, there needs to be a discussion around the brand purpose, and brand values. So we did this activity within the organization itself, wherein we, as a team, decided on this purpose, and there was a process which was followed. So basically, who is our customer? So what is the cultural truth? The consumer is focused on the digital life. They are youngsters who revel in digital life. They're excited and enriched by latest technologies. What is the human truth? You use a two-wheeler to go from your home to office, from one place to another within a city, or even intra-cities. So basically you are navigating that urban jungle, you are navigating the traffics, you are navigating people who are driving rash, and you are navigating different roads. And then what is our truth? So we call ourselves challenge engineers, wherein we don't hesitate to experiment with new technology. We don't hesitate in experimenting or taking new and innovative steps to solving an existing problem. And to combine this, we arrived at a purpose, which is to game the city. So basically what we are saying is, we are giving this product to you, the youngsters, and it can help you to stay connected, plus enjoy your ride like a game when you are going from your home to office, when you're going from one place to another. And we also came out with values. Again, the idea was to keep it simple. Create boldly, customer obsession, and smart action. So all these values were derived along with the team, and that is the reason wherein the entire team comes together and we believe in these values, and that has resulted in the product. So summing it up, what we have done and what we believe is that even after the pandemic, the basics of how you build the organization have not changed. Yes, challenges have increased. We have faced many challenges in building the team, in building the technology, but the basic foundational elements have remained the same. The digital has accelerated the pace of the business, the pace of the development. But the basics wherein the product market fit, we started with evaluating who the customer is, what are the white spaces which are available in the market, and what does the customer need from the product. And that is what went into the entire product development cycle. We said we'll build the technology which is built for India and in India. Today we are not importing anything apart from the semiconductor chips, the lithium ion cells and the magnets. Rest everything is either built in-house or is sourced from local vendors within India. And even there the design and development is ours. The third and most important pillar in this whole strategy is the team, without which we would not have even reached the place where we are. Because being a startup, we were already in a cash crunch and we lost 2 very good years because of COVID. The impact was that the consignments, the machines and testing equipment which we had ordered and which obviously we were importing from abroad, they were getting delayed. So the overall project did get delayed by, I would say, around a year and a half, but still we were able to pull it back significantly, again because of the dedication of the team, and hence we have the product which was unveiled recently in Delhi. Fourth pillar which we are currently working on is the consumer experience. We believe that today the vehicle is like a smartphone on wheels. The consumers does not have the time to go to a service center, spend time over there, haggle with the service team on what should be charged, what should not be charged. So we are working on building a world-class consumer experience. And the journey will be hybrid. So we are not saying that, no, you buy an online product only. In an automotive product, you need to understand that there needs to be a feel which consumer has to have. So you have to drive the product to understand how the dynamics is. You have to drive the product to actually feel how the performance of the product is. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your great insights about many things with us today. Moving on, now the moment has come to add a golden feather in the hat of success, a moment about pride and accomplishment, that is honoring the Best Paper Award. I now invite Professor C. Shambhu Prasad to announce the Best Paper Award.
It's my pleasure to announce the winners of the Best Paper Awards. We start with the third prize, which has gone to Manikanta Mishra from MICA, along with Mahmood Rahman from the Eastern Michigan University for their paper titled Communication Strategy in a Multicultural World. Thank you, Professor Mishra. The second prize goes to Naina Dugal and Tara Shankar Shaw from IIT Bombay for their paper on mandatory CSR and the cost of debt, a case of Indian firms. Thank you, Naina. The first prize goes to Neeraj Singh from IIM Lucknow for the paper titled Farmer Preference Towards the AgTech Platform Attributes and Empirical Observation. A big round of applause to Neeraj Singh. They're also announcing a special prize to Alexa Russo from Stanford University for her paper titled Imagining Agrarian Alternatives, Sustainable Agriculture, Gender, and the Farmer-Producer Organization. Alexa is currently not with us. She's on her way back from field work to celebrate Christmas with her family in US, but we shall convey the wishes and the prize to her separately. Thank you very much. I invite Professor Sahai to announce the SMF Alumni Awards.
This Alumni Award we started from last year. Also the Lifetime Achievement Award that we gave in the inaugural session. The award for alumni is given basically based on the evaluation of 4 parameters. Number 1 is how many SMF courses they have attended. What is their service to society? What is their contribution to research? And then what is their contribution to environment? And based on these, the committee decided that this year's award should go to Rohit Bhardwaj, Pro Vice Chancellor from Guwahati. Rohit.
Thank you, sir. Warmest congratulations to all the winners on your well-deserved success. Let's also congratulate all our delegates with a massive round of applause for their enthusiastic participation and efforts. Thank you. Now it's time to convey our gratitude to all our honorable dignitaries for their valuable presence and support to SMF 2022. I request Dr. Dash to present a memento to Mr. Sumit Sabharwal as a sign of gratitude. I request Professor Arunaditya Sahai to kindly present the memento to Mr. Abhishek Shukla. Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Dash to formally hand over the baton.
This is a moment of suspense. I have been asked to announce where the next SMF convention will be held. And this year, we had a problem of plenty. 4 proposals came, all the 4 were IIMs. 2 IIM directors even came here. And I must acknowledge some of the goof up that SMF did make. Apologies to those people. But finally, we have here Professor Pawan Kumar Singh of IIM Trichy, where the next convention goes. Professor Pawan Kumar Singh. We have a tradition of handing over the baton from the existing to the succeeding.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Next year's convention is going to be even bigger, better, and more academically sound.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This SMF 2022 was made possible by many hands, hearts, and minds working together. To express a word of appreciation and gratitude, I now invite Professor Arunaditya Sahai, who would propose vote of thanks.
Dignitaries on the dais, dear delegates, students, fellow faculty members, press and media, it's my proud privilege to propose a vote of thanks, but it is an emotional moment as well, because we would soon be parting. That makes me sad. While these 3 days at Anand has been all Anand and Anand and Anand. यहाँ की फिजाओं में, हवाओं में सिर्फ आनंद है. और starting with the vote of thanks, I think first of all, excuse me, our guest of honor and chief guest, first of all it goes to the delegates and audience because of them we are here. We are indeed grateful to you, Mr. Abhishek Shukla and Mr. Sabharwal. You could find time for us with so short a notice. It's really, we are grateful to you, and both of you give very good insight into what you are doing and how strategy, HR, technology is connected. We have been immensely benefited. Thank you. It will not be really complete if we don't give thanks and a plentiful baskets, whatever you call, to Director of IRMA, Professor and the convener, kindly get up. Professor Pradeep Modi. It was his and his team's tireless effort that made this conference so successful. The papers were wonderful. I have been in many sessions, and I must acknowledge I learned a lot. It will not be out of place, really, to give thanks to all the staff, the people, the workers here behind this, the technicians who at short notice, the IT team, the press. They all deserve a big thanks from SMF. Now that the curtains will be drawn here, but I'm sure these 2.5 days must have a great learning, a great networking opportunity, a great association. I'm sure out of this conference there would be so many research papers and cases turned out. And the convener, the director, me, we are all there behind you, those of you who want to really take forward your presentation or your case. So please do turn up. And we go back with two very important things that Dr. Sodhi gave us. Create value for many. Not only value for money we always talk in business, but also value for many, value for downtrodden, value for poor. So we go back with that message, and this was one conference, I would say, where we had many international participants. One he announced, I forget the name, she was from Stanford University. There were also the editors who were from France, then Omaha, USA, and so on. We had quite a few delegates from international, and I request Professor Umakant and Prateek to really focus them and give it on your website as well as SMF website. Lastly, though it's me and Professor Umakant is here, but as he rightly said, there is an umbilical cord with which we are bound. And I recall one photograph taken in the inaugural session where perchance the wig was short. There were only one wig left. We were too many. And Umakant and I lighted one wig with joint hands, and that we I'm sorry, at this old age sometimes you forget I was given another duty. So before I close the vote of thanks, major part is done, I was asked to take a feedback about the conference. So please, a few of you, please give us brickbats, suggestions for improvement. Please do not throw flowers, give brickbats. Go ahead.
This is the first time I attended.
Please give mic to him.
My name is Bikramjit Rishi. I'm professor in marketing at Shivnadar Institution of Eminence, Delhi NCR. This is first time I attended Strategic Management Forum conference at IRMA. And I was very happy that it first time at Indian conference has taken up the case studies as a track, because I write case studies, and I was very happy to send a case, and it was finally selected, and I chaired the session also, and it was well organized conference, and taking some of the learnings from here, and even I visited Amul and took some leads to write the cases also. So I'm taking 3-4 leads along with me through this conference to write cases further.
We need suggestions for improvement.
So I will suggest, so there is a suggestion which is very important, because I hope Professor Singh will also include a case track in the future conference. And here only one suggestion I given to Professor Prateek also, that cases should be discussed in a different format rather than in the presentation format. It should be discussed in the table format where you share the cases with the case presenters ahead of time, and so that everybody can read and give the feedback to the case writers, and it can help them to publish the cases.
Thank you. We have our friend there raising his hand. Kindly pass it.
So I would start from the suggestion.
Kindly introduce yourself.
Myself is Rajesh Jain. I am a fifth year PhD student at IIM Lucknow in strategic management area. So I would start with the suggestions first. Two things I observe: how the purview of the strategic management forum needs to be increased. First, the visibility at the university level, because where the need of the strategic management intervention has to be increased. So the onus for us lies in improving the visibility of strategic management forum. Second, I even think that South Asian regional SAARC sort of country, they can be greatly benefited from increasing the purview. So I think yesterday we talked to Dubai, Madam Dr. Geeta Bajaj, and she agreed to increase the purview from India to Dubai, and then we can include Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and many more. So this is one coming from my side. Third, I have been here for last 7 days. It is a feeling away from home sort of thing. So my gratitude and congratulations to all and every nook and corner of the IRMA. I had something in mind, and that has been validated after coming over here. I have attended many conferences. So the conference which differentiates IRMA conferences from other conferences is the feeling of belongingness that I have felt, and I think many of my fellow colleagues might have the same feeling. With this, I would like to express my sincere thanks to each and every participant of the strategic management forum.
Thank you. So this is the last, because time doesn't permit.
Good afternoon all. I am Shri from BML Munchal University. There is one short comment. Of course, the conference was amazing. I'm not going to take time on
There
that.
can be nothing perfect in this world.
Yeah.
And we must have had many shortcomings.
I just wish maybe there was like some female on the dais. That is my only...
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I now switch back to vote of thanks that was 90% complete. The last but not least, thanks to each and every individual, whether that side or this side or in the green room. Thank you all, and we are... Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This brings us to the end of the valedictory ceremony of SMF 2022. Here we are concluding a remarkable, memorable and knowledgeable valedictory session. We sincerely thank and show heartfelt gratitude to every one of you for your wholehearted support rendered in the success of this valedictory session. Thank you so much for being such a lovely audience. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.